Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, it is KingNido here, and today we're in Hearthome City where the ghost type specters are trying to get themselves back on top of the leaderboard, but to do so they will have to beat the Delta team that is the Holon Heroes, who have been having a very inconsistent season, and to knock off the ghost types will be a huge upset. So let us know in the comments below who you think will win. Will it be the ghost types? Will it be the Delta team? Let's send it down.
3, 2, 1, go!
Now the Delta team have come in with a 4-3 record, and they are starting off with Flareon and Leafeon. It will be the pseudo legendary Dragapult and Typhlosion starting off for the Hearthome Spectres, and with that hidden ability Frisk, Typhlosion reveals the Leopard Berry on the side of the evolutions. But we already know in the PokeType League, everybody holds a Leopard Berry as a water pledge onto Flareon, super effective from Dragapult. Leafeon responds for its side with a Grass Pledge. Its own pledge, unfortunately, is not very effective onto Dragapult, whose cursed body ability is activated. This will cause Leafeon to struggle. Typhlosion going for the roost, but it's already at full strength, so that will fail, allowing Flareon to go and set up the Misty Terrain. And if the evolutions can capitalize on this and go for Dragapult, who is part Dragon type, it will take extra damage, as Dragapult going with the Iron Defense, potentially in preparation, so it will boost its defense a great deal. Now Leafeon having no moves left, due to that disable goes for the struggle on Typhlosion, does get the recoil damage however, which allows Typhlosion to go and set up a Calm Mind, and as that Calm Mind takes over, we all think you should subscribe. But with that said, Typhlosion gets the special attack and special defense boost, and it has that 119 special attack, as well as a Trick Room is set up for Flareon. This is going to reverse the speed order, so Dragapult is now the slowest Pokemon on the field, and Flareon with the stored power on the pseudo legendary will not do much damage, but Leafeon is going to continue to struggle, continuing to go for Typhlosion, and it continues to get that recoil damage in doing so. Typhlosion responds though with a super effective Mega Horn onto Leafeon, and it gets the first elimination of the matchup, taking out the Grass type evolution. Dragapult looking to follow it up, goes with the Cotton Spore here. This is going to lower that speed stat of Flareon, and speaking of speed, out comes Jolteon, the quickest Pokemon on the Holon Heroes, as we get the Icicle Spear onto Typhlosion from Flareon. It should have gone for Dragapult because it's not very effective on Typhlosion, who is a part Fire type. Typhlosion responds though with the Slack Off, so it is going to restore its health. Get very close to being at full strength here. Jolteon is going to go with the Shore Up, but it's already at full strength, so that will fail. It will not need to restore any health right now. And Dragapult with the Healing Wish, the pseudo legendary, is going to take itself out of the matchup very early on. It was unnecessary. The Hearthome Spectres were building the momentum, but out comes Gengar in its place, and Flareon with the Hex. This will be super effective onto Typhlosion. Doesn't do as much damage though as I would have expected, and Typhlosion is going to be able to respond with a Nightshade onto Jolteon. This move always does the same amount of damage, and Gengar follows it up with the Confused Ray, but Jolteon is surrounded by the Protective Mist. There is the Misty Terrain on the battlefield, preventing those status conditions, and the Steel Wing in response onto Gengar, as that mist now disappears from the battlefield. Flareon with the Kowtow Cleave, and this will be super effective, and Typhlosion is eliminated from the matchup. That was a fantastic connection, and the Holon Heroes have taken the lead, but we get the foul play in response onto Jolteon from Gengar. Gets a really great hit there, but Jolteon responds with the Psybeam, capitalizing on that part Poison typing, but Gengar holds on, and its cursed body ability was activated. Now we saw this happen earlier to Leafeon, so Jolteon will struggle on the field as Skeledirge comes out, and Jolteon with no moves left is going to struggle, eliminates Gengar, but the recoil damage is going to take out Jolteon, I believe. So the evolution, the electric type evolution, is eliminated from this matchup. Skeledirge going for its first move of the matchup, goes for the Ice Beam onto its fellow Fire type. It knows that that won't be very effective. I don't know what it's thinking, but Flareon is going to respond with the Leer. This is going to lower the defense stat of Skeledirge. And out comes Sylveon for the Holon Heroes. It will be Decidueye coming out for the Hearthome Spectres, and with the speed advantage, Decidueye goes for the Soft Ball. Yet again, another Pokemon at full strength, trying to restore its health here. Skeledirge follows it up with the Shadow Claw onto Sylveon. Gets a really good hit there. Sylveon is going to respond though with the Cross Chop, which the Ghost types are immune to, so it will not affect Decidueye. Flareon, however, going with the Lunar Blessing, it is going to restore some of its own and some of Sylveon's health here, so helping out its teammate, which is a really good play there. Decidueye though with the Stomping Tantrum, this will be super effective onto Flareon, and Flareon is eliminated, so restoring its health was not enough to keep it in this matchup, And the playing field is now level as the cross chop onto Sylveon. Not very effective there from Skeledirge. Sylveon is going to respond though with the Reflect type, so it's going to become a Grass Ghost type, copying the typing of Decidueye. And now out comes Vaporeon for the hold-on Heroes as Decidueye immediately sets up a bind. Vaporeon will be taking continuous damage from this move, as it is squeezed by Decidueye. Skeledirge follows it up with the dual Wing Beat here onto Sylveon. Gets a really good hit on that first one, a great hit on that second one for that super effective move, capitalizing on the Park Grass typing that it now has. It is able to hold on though, and Vaporeon is going to vanish instantly from the field, setting up for a Shadow Force as Sylveon follows it up with the Pedal Dance onto Skeledirge. Not very effective, but huge connection with that move as Vaporeon, even though not on the field, does feel the effects of the bind. That scratch from Decidueye will be avoided by Vaporeon. And Skeledirge going for the Side Strike onto Sylveon here. And Sylveon is eliminated with that move, being taken out of this matchup. But here comes the the Shadow Force from Vaporeon onto Skeledirge, and that super effective move takes out the Fire Ghost type. We're down to 2 Pokemon on both sides as Vaporeon still feels the effects of that bind. This is still anybody's game in this huge back and forth matchup. Out comes Poltegeist for the Hard Home Spectres, and it is Glaceon for the Hold-On Heroes. Poltegeist immediately going for the Cross Chop, and it looks like Glaceon's going to be able to avoid that attack. Decidueye, however, with the Spirit Shackle, going for its signature move onto Glaceon. Glaceon does not avoid that, taking huge damage. Glaceon can no longer escape, and Vaporeon with the Strength Sap, sapping that strength from Poltegeist. It's also going to restore its own health in lowering Poltegeist's attack in the process. Vaporeon does get itself back to full strength as Glaceon going with the Heart Swap. It is going to switch its heart with Poltegeist here, switching their stat changes, and there's that bind still taking effect onto Vaporeon. It is still continuing to take that damage as the Shadow Ball now from Decidueye onto Glaceon, focusing in on the Ice type. Glaceon holds on, though it does have its special defense level, but if it takes any hit, it's surely going to be eliminated. Poltegeist could capitalize, going for the Infestation. Glaceon is taken out of this matchup. Vaporeon is all by itself. It is going to go for the Thunder Punch onto Poltegeist, gets a really good hit there. Still feeling the effects of the bind, that 2-1 advantage on the side of the Heart Home Spectres. They just have to take out Vaporeon. Poltegeist is going to go for a super effective Thunder Punch. Vaporeon holds on, but it got the critical hit as well, and Decidueye going with the payback will finish Vaporeon off with the critical hit for good measure. And they have defeated the Hold-On Heroes, have the Heart Home Spectres, and this will be their 7th victory of the season. But more importantly for them, this will move them back on top of the leaderboard above the Motorstoke Engines, and next round they will be taking on the Striaton Greens, whereas the Hold-On Heroes stay in 9th place, but next round they will be taking on the Spikemas Suede Grunts, and I cannot wait for that matchup. But until then, Nidorinas and Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field and enjoyed with. So please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I'll see you when you see me.